Hello, this is wmpyr here to do a little explanation on this video that I did for you guys recently. It's called the weaving exercise. So I think the first thing is I need to define what weaving is. So weaving comes from Filipino martial arts, and it basically, from my understanding, I interpret it as moving both of your arms simultaneously. Okay, so we're talking about double arm skills or double weapon skills. It could be with or without a weapon, but it's using both arms simultaneously. And obviously, this is a very valuable exercise because in real life, you're probably going to use both arms. And also, if you have weapons, you definitely want to make sure, even if you have just one weapon, you don't have to necessarily have two, but even then, you want to make sure that you don't end up hurting yourself or cutting up your other arm or making sure that the other arm doesn't get in the way. And in fact, if you do weaving properly, then that means you could use both arms effectively. So that's what you want to do. Even if you only have one weapon, the weapon hand is not the only one that's going to do the work. In other words, if you know weaving properly, then the hand that doesn't have the weapon becomes just as important. So, that's my understanding of weaving. Now, with the angles of attack, you could definitely use the angles of attack with both arms, but I want to make it very clear that there is a separation. So if you have the angles of attack, which is single stick type exercises or single weapon type exercises, what I want you guys to understand is that if you could do that, you could do them with both hands because we train with the right hand, we also train with the left hand, but you're still taking turns. Okay, with weaving, the difference is, you know, if you're doing angles of attack, you might go 1 through 5 and then you switch to the left hand. And then you go 1 through 5 with the left hand and then you switch to the right hand. You see what I'm saying? So the gap is still pretty big. But when you do weaving, the gap may be very small or almost non-existent. When the right arm is moving, the left arm is doing something else. When the left arm is moving, the right arm might be doing something else, so you might have simultaneous movement, or if not, even if they are taking turns, it's one after the other. So it's, this is, I think, where the term weaving comes from, where it's like closely knit together, right arm and left arm. Now, I've come to a realization that there's perhaps a deeper meaning of weaving. And I wish I could explain it to you guys, but since I don't know it, I can't. It was just kind of hinted out towards me recently. And from my understanding, the weaving isn't just has to do with my right hand and my left hand. The weaving may also take place with the opponent. So then now that creates like another dimension. So if I've been operating in 2 dimensions, now all of a sudden this is 3 dimensions. So it's kind of difficult for me to explain, especially when my brain's still 2D. How can you explain something that's 3 dimensions when you've always been in just 2 dimensions? Or we live in a 3-dimensional world now. Try to imagine it, trying to explain 4 dimensions. It should blow your mind. So I don't understand it. I can't explain it to you guys, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. So anyway, right here, let's get right to it. The video right here. If you see the movements right here, I'm just going side to side. And honestly, the arms are just kind of weight. They are giving me momentum to help me move the body. So what I'm really interested in here is not the arms, but the body movement. The arms will change according to the technique. And then if you look at other styles of martial arts, they're using the same body mechanics because we're all humans, we're all built the same. The arms could be totally different. So you could look at the Aikido person's arm movement, and then you could look at boxing, and you could look at Filipino martial arts right here. All 3 of them use the same core, the same type of core movement, body mechanics, but the arm movement would be 100% totally different. Okay, so like in Aikido, a lot of it can be based off of a katana sword. And then for Filipino martial arts, obviously, it is a weapons art. It does come from a bladed system. It is a sword art, but the sword is pretty different. It's not two hands on one sword. It's a single-handed sword. And then, of course, with boxing, I mean, that's obviously they're throwing punches and stuff totally different. But still, the way you're moving, now I'm doing diagonal downwards movements. So I'm making an X, and I put my arms together right here to focus more on the body mechanics rather than the arms, okay? But then it's good to once in a while also let go of that, and then you let the arm momentum help you learn how to move the torso, your legs and your torso. Okay, so now I'm going back to side and I'm going diagonal, so I'm mixing all of that in there. Okay, so I hope you guys can understand. This is about moving your body, and that's why we use the sticks, because the sticks give you the length, it gives you the momentum, and it makes it easier to help you learn the proper body mechanics. And once again, the arms is not really what's important here. And now I'm introducing a vertical movement. Okay, so once you add a vertical movement, now we're playing with three different movements: vertical, side to side, and diagonal, which is the figure eight. So actually this vertical movement is a vertical figure eight. But as we do that, we create more variations so that it becomes less predictable for the opponent. So as you can see here, I'm now mixing up side to side, vertical, side to side, now diagonal, 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 and still diagonal, side to side, vertical, side to side, vertical, side to side, so there, you could mix it all up like so. And yeah, so anyway, normally in Filipino martial arts, this kind of thing is not really taught. Okay, the people that I've trained with, the classes that I went to, they didn't teach me this. So this is a wmpyr thing. Okay, I believe, in my opinion, I'm still being very true to Filipino martial arts. But where does this idea come from, where I'm trying to move the body like this and trying to work on the core as an exercise? Well, it comes from the Russian martial arts that I got to experience, and that is very. I actually did get to experience Sistema, and there was also another style, but so from there, they're really big into exercise and body mechanics and body movements and articulation of your skeletal joints and stuff like that. So I got that idea from that, and I'm just applying it to my Filipino martial arts. And to me, like for example, grapplers, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, they do kind of the same thing by cross-training with something like Ginástica Natural, which is they work on body mechanics, like moving like animals and stuff like that, to better help their jiu-jitsu. So this is kind of the same idea, kind of using different, completely different system, but to focus on the body mechanics. And I think it's good for your health, for your body, but it also helps your skill. And I saw a video. I remember back in the day, a friend of mine showed me a video of these Russian special forces guys doing this kind of warm-up exercise, and they would do it in a matter of a minute or under 2 minutes. And they would do it real fast, and they would warm up from head all the way to toe. And it looked something like what I was doing here, but body mechanics wise. It looks very similar to something like this, but they would do it real fast, and they would get the whole body warmed up, and it looked really, really cool. And the main difference is all those movements that they're doing, it had combat application for their style. So which was like a sistema type style. It has combat application for that. And here, what I'm doing here has combat application for Filipino martial arts. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.